Grand finale of the YCS. This is right after a $3,000 tournament we had that I hosted. $3,000 TCG tournament with these new cards. Now, what's funny about this, in this grand finale, is that two of the players in the grand finale were in my tournament, and they both got top 4 of my tournament. What the hell? Hani, who's in the grand finale, got second place of the Shizu tier laments, and Jesse Cotton got top 4 with the Shizu tier laments, but using Bestial Thunder Dragons. I'm not sure if he's still playing that, though.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Now, TCG players adamantly said that, of course, the TCG players are not playing their best or their best decks in my event, which they did end up doing, and are playing the same decks in this event. Imagine the copium when Dkayed comes along from Duel Links and puts on a better TCG event than anyone else. Let's go. 65-minute grand finale. What the? Terraforming. Very good. Searching for the ever so powerful planet. Perlin, the Terrible Midfield spell. No one actually pronounces the card, right? Now, I think Jesse might be playing just regular tier Ishizu. He's not sticking to the Thunder Dragon variant with Bestial, possibly. The field spell's nuts. It's going to be able to pop any card in the field after you return a tier limit back into your deck, and also, it's going to search for any tier limit.
Starts off with Sharon. Pitching Kelbeck.
Okay, he's sharing effect, discarding Kelbeck. He's going to mill 3. And now he has to choose if he's going to activate the Kelbeck to mill 5 for both players. He's activating it. Both players going to mill 5.
Now, let's see what
this is huge. This is huge.
It is to go 5 here.
Oh my Jesus. So he's got Kelbeck himself, so both players can mill 5 again. And he... Okay, we can mill 5 again, and he milled the Mudora, which has the quick effect to spin up to 3 cards from either player's graveyard back into the deck. He milled the Trap. The Trap's going to activate the search for a tier limit.
And Rhinoheart.
He's activating Rhinoheart. Rhinoheart's going to special summon and discard a tier limit from the hand. And then send a tier limit from the deck to the graveyard to perform a fusion summon. But the fusion summon can be stopped by the opponent's Mudora in the graveyard. So he will be able to stop a fusion at least 1.
Taking a moment to consider which effects he wants to activate.
He's still, okay, he's got to think about his trigger effects because he's the turn player, but then Hani has to resolve his first.
So the Celiac is going to resolve to add Havnus to Hani's hand.
Okay. And they're both going to mill 5, right? Did he activate the Kelbeck to mill 5 again?
Is he going to activate the Kelbeck?
He passed on Kelbeck.
I'd assume.
Why is his graveyard on the field and we're activating field spell? What's going on? Excuse me? What's going on now? Are we in an open game state activating field spell and our graveyard's on the field?
Kind of get the feeling that the payoff here was that it didn't really pay off for anybody.
He didn't even activate Rhino. He didn't activate it.
I mean, he at least got the Medora and the Keldo engrave. Having both of those makes you feel a little rest easy. But
okay.
You also extend that to your opponent too. And now here we see activates Medora. The Ishizu Wars. And then Hani activates.
This is the new way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Your graveyard is on the field now. He's targeting 3 to return back in the deck, which is going to force him to also return 3 back in the deck.
Rhinoheart and
their graveyards are on the field. He might activate his Keldo to spin 3. He didn't. He didn't. Back in the deck we go.
All right, so all this is going to go.
Interesting. He passed on the Rhino. You want me to have a soundboard for resolving effects? We could do that.
Still in the graveyard that was once. The graveyard did have a
ching, ching, ching. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
We're going to get 3.
Okay, Merle's milling 3 on summon mill 3.
Along with
no trigger effects. No trigger. He's triggering the field spell to pop his monster? Yes, he is.
Maybe he wants to dark.
His Rhino Heart was returned back in the deck, which is triggering the effect of the field spell to destroy any card in the field. He's activating to pop his own Sharon. Sharon, if sent to the graveyard, is going to activate and fusion summon.
Chain after the shuffling? Or
I
is
think
this
so. I
the
think
next
so.
chain?
Yeah, it's on the resolution. It is a trigger effect. That does work.
So he lets him do it. Does target the Sharon.
He could negate with Herald Orange Light. I think I saw that in his hand. He's Bestial chaining. This is like a DD Crow.
But honey, it does.
If you DD Crow the Tearlament to fusion summon,
It's Herald of Orange Light.
he's negating the DD Crow effect. He's negating the negate.
Honey has his own Herald.
Herald of Orange Light versus Herald of Orange Light. Negate the negate.
I swear, Jesse, if you have another Herald, this place is going to explode.
You don't got
The
another
Herald
one.
Orange Light, we talked about it going into this weekend. It's definitely one of the key cards in this deck.
So the Bestials that are going to be coming, they're going to be able to target a light in either light or darkening the player's graveyard, banish it, and special summon. And that completely stops the fusion summon effect of the Tearlaments engrave.
All the participants of this tournament.
Before Bestials came out, everyone was playing DD Crow, but now the Bestials have built-in DD Crow.
It's a good one, but the effects just keep on coming.
He's activating Mill 5? No way.
Which is why we have two excellent
Mill
duels.
5. How many cards we milled? We milled 10 cards so far this game.
We're going 5 more.
More
with
for
Guido.
No trigger effects. He got trigger effects though.
Honey has quite the crowd behind him there.
Okay, he's activating.
That epic. It was just a Rhino.
He's choosing. Yeah, I don't know why the crowd's going wild. It's not that crazy. They don't know what's going on. That's why they're going nuts.
The Rhino Heart and the Rhino Heart could be a lot. That's
So
a-
this is a fusion, and this could set up a fusion.
You haven't had a turn yet.
Yep. And Honey hadn't.
He still has active Keldo. Keldo could stop the fusion and the Rhino from summoning.
Jesse still has the Keldo. that
He's
he
doing
uses
it.
right now to cut off that Hovness and Rhino Heart.
Spin the Hovness and Rhino Heart back in the deck, stopping the fusion, stopping the summon of the Rhino Heart. And that's it for the Mudora and Keldo spin 3 back in the deck. Just these two have been used, and that's it. Hard once returns.
More things are going to happen.
Returning Diviner back in the deck. Returning Diviner back in the deck's good because if Diviner's in the graveyard, you could summon it with your Sprite Elf
We'll be able to
and then make a Baron to floor or make other plays.
He just has him early.
He passed.
The onslaught.
So tier 0 turn 1 looks like this.
It's going to try.
You just Merly pass.
It's going to go through.
Merly on the field pass, no disruptions. Tier 0. Okay, so what's happening is during the end phase, he's activating the Bestial search. And I think they're arguing on he summoned the monster that he searched.
Yeah, I see a terrible.
And I guess they're arguing
Jesse doesn't
what?
even give Ani the
He's
second
stupid.
chance playing his turn. Doesn't want him to even learn anything. Besides, you know what? I just have this Merly.
Scooping up because he ended the turn on Merly pass. These duels, like I said, they are done on the first turn.
Excitement. I'm the
He 0 turn killed him. He 0 turn killed him. He killed him on turn 0 before even going.
speed of my play.
Didn't even have a turn.
Right.
Look at this video we had.
Jump right into
Is this a 0 turn kill or a no turn kill? No turn kill. We already have a video on this. All right, he's gonna go first again.
When it's just 3v3.
Instant fusion is nuts. That's gonna summon the Kick Kalos, which will search for any Tearlament card, and also going to set up Mill 5.
Picks up instant fusion.
So search and Mill 5. In the tournament, Jesse Cotton said to his opponent during my tournament, he said, whose turn is it? That's how crazy. So much happens on one turn that the players are going to ask each other whose turn it is. What the heck? He opened up the field spell also? The field spell is not searchable outside of terraforming, so that's just disgusting. To open up instant fusion and field spell, he should just win this. He's going to set up Mill 5 though.
Gonna activate the screen.
The Scream, anytime a monster is summoned once per turn, Mill 3. Even if your opponent summons a monster. He's using Kit to send itself to the graveyard, summoning the Rhino. So what's going to happen here is he's going to mill 8 cards. Mill 8 and send a monster to the graveyard to fuse. No trigger,
Nothing.
no relevant trigger. That's going to mill 5 if he wants to, for both players. That's a fusion summon. That's another fusion summon. That's 2 fusion summons, mill 5 for both players, and search for a tier limit trap.
With Reinhardt.
Triple fusion trigger if he wants to.
Set there.
Triple fusion. That's every tier limit that activates when sent to the graveyard to fuse. That's all 3. All 3 are in the graveyard. So he could activate the fusion summon 3 times. He's going to do it, though. Now, the Bystials could stop any one of the fusions if he has Bystials in the hand.
2.
I think I would pass on mill 5 for both players. He is searching for a trap. Very good. He's searching for the Solemn Judgment-like trap. It will pretty much negate anything. And when it negates, it shuffles it back in the deck, so it makes sure to not trigger any effects by sending it to the graveyard. He's choosing the triggers right now.
So he's going to put back Kiktalos and Sharon. Probably summon Rukalos.
Okay, so fusion number 1. Now, he had to choose the triggers before him resolving right now, but we don't know because there's no dual log. We can't hear them speak. He might be summoning this one. Yep. This stops Nibiru. This is why Nibiru's no longer good. Nibiru was being used against the deck, then they stopped doing it because now you can make this. This is effect to negate a special summon. Usually into Garura. Garura's good to summon if you plan on sending it to the graveyard because it will draw 1. So the only disruption he has right now is negate an effect to special summon. So he had triple fusion trigger, but he just fused twice. Now, it could still be good to activate 2 fusion effects, but fuse only once, because if he has the effect to Bystial, banish one of them, then the other fusion will go through. So it plays around Bystial. Whoa. He's gammaing the Bystial. This Bystial on summon would search another Bystial within the end phase. Rukalos can negate. Negate. Activate an effect that includes special summoning a monster. You have to negate and then send a tier limit from your hand or face up. She could send herself, then resummon. He did not negate. He didn't negate. He's waiting for something else. That's his normal summon. He still has a normal summon. I think Dweller's going to be the way, yeah? Get Dwelling. No card effects can activate in your opponent's graveyard. Not even spell. Spell, trap, monster, nothing activatable in the opponent's graveyard. But you do have to activate it to make it so. So he could turn off the graveyard. He can negate an effect of special summon. And he has a counter trap, negate, spell, trap, monster effect. So he's got triple disruption. And the Garura's not doing anything. That's just chilling. Dweller in the draw phase.
Activates Dweller.
Chaining Hovness to summon onto the field.
Not Herald of Orange Light.
Now, Rakalos can negate it. Not negating. Okay, that's fine. Everything in the graveyard's not going to be activatable.
All right. And now Scream is going to activate.
Scream's going to mill 3. Because your opponent normal or special summon, so your continuous spell. That is a triple fusion. He's scooping. The game's a freaking roulette. Do you not see this?
That makes up for it there in game number 2 for Jesse.
They're just pulling the lever. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though. Like,
Can someone edit Yu-Gi-Oh over this? This is Yu-Gi-Oh now. Just random mills, and you're just like, yeah, I'm out. So I guess that means in 6 months from now, if your own deck that's not tier limit can make Dweller, then you might be in a decent spot. Maybe.
Goes to main phase. Starts with Diviner.
Ooh, Diviner. Diviner can mill any of the Earth.
He's going to send down to Kelbeck.
He could send Kelbeck, Agido, he could send Keldo, Mudora, he could send the quick effect to send 3 cards in either player's graveyard back in the deck, or he could trigger mill 5 for both players.
Looked like he had triple tactics talent.
That's mill 5 for both players. And now the Diviner gains that level. You send a fairy and then increase, so it's now level 6. So Diviner plus a level 4 makes Baron to floor.
My hands right now, just thinking about it.
Level 6 Diviner, Baron to floor with the level 4. But if you're making a level 4 into Diviner into Baron, then that's taking away from maybe making a Dweller.
players. Let's
All
see
right,
what we got.
we're doing it.
There's another Guido and a Kelbeck. Things could get crazy.
Okay, he's got Mudora. He could spin 3 cards. He's got a fusion summon. He's got double fusion summon.
So if he doesn't have
He did not mill.
his 2
He's happy. Because Jesse did not mill Mudora nor Keldo, he loses. That's it. And he literally, you saw him do it. You saw him. He literally had that expression.
Guido or
Gio, what was that?
have both players mill another 10 right here, right now.
He literally celebrated. You saw that.
I think he might go 5.
He got really lucky. But Jesse's going to trigger his mills so he could try to mill it later.
Game number 3.
But now he's going to have uninterrupted double fusion. Up to 2 fusions uninterrupted.
I guess he's looking for
Unless Jesse has a Bestial in the hand.
for his Keldos and Kelbecks.
Some people just like
He's
to watch
shaking.
the burn.
You see that? I think he's shaking because he knows he's going to win.
We're gonna send back.
That's the too good to be true shake.
Interesting. With 10 cards coming up to mill, I
That's,
would want to put back
I
cards.
win if I don't screw this up. He's targeting 3 cards to return back of the deck. He's stopping the fusion summon, so Jesse's fusion's getting stopped. Now, Jesse does have a Bestial, but because Hani milled 2 fusion effects,
Or-
he's negating. And he's negating. Holy shite.
7 now. Do I hear 8?
Don't let them surrender game 3. They got to play this out because this is where Jesse's supposed to scoop. Okay, he's resolving the Mudora, spinning them back in the deck right now. So Hani stopped his fusion. Jesse tried to stop one of his 2 fusions, but then he negated the negate. So now he's going to resolve double fusion.
What is going to happen?
And we're also going to have mill 10 here. I think we're milling 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
I think we're milling 10, like an additional 5 for both players.
4. 5.
He still doesn't have Mudora or Keldo. Now we're milling 10 for both players. He's got Keldo, but it's too late. He's already resolving 2 fusions.
Scream and Hovness and Sharon.
So Hani needs a Keldo. He's praying for a Keldo.
Looking for
He's
Keldo.
praying for Keldo.
He wants Keldo.
He wants Keldo. You heard it. You heard it. No Keldo.
No Keldo.
No.
He was praying for a Keldo mill. So now Jesse's going to be able to fusion summon. This is all the first turn, by the way. Don't get confused on whose turn it is. This is turn 1.
Hani visibly displeased that he did not.
The whole duel is being decided on the first turn. He's going to make a kit. He also did not mill a Rhino Heart.
Still doing the previous one.
He needed a Rhino Heart mill or a Keldo mill. So I think not milling either of these cards, the Rhino Heart or the Keldo, was unlucky.
Let's see what.
So he got insanely lucky, followed with insanely unlucky. So I do think it evens it out a bit. But now Jesse's going to make a kit also.
End of that chain, new chain. Yep, let's do it.
It's that time again. Time for a new chain.
All right, that's it. He had double fusion, but he's fusing just once. Did he activate both fusions to play around Bestial, or did he activate just one of them? Because then he negated Bestial from stopping his fusion. I think he only activated to fuse once.
Also, we chain link 1.
1 kid.
He's activating to search right now. The kit has the ability to not only search, but could also mill an additional 5. I think they have multiple judges to help maintain the game
I
state.
think another one of the questions is, did we use Sharon yet?
In new Yu-Gi-Oh, you mill 10, then both players just look at the judges. It's like, what now?
1, 2,
I think we're beyond the trigger phase, and now we're in the quick effect phase.
1 Merly.
So he's choosing the chain link orders of the triggers.
Merly.
So both players are choosing what triggers and their chain link order. And we're about to get to the point where we could start responding with quick effects, which could be a Bestial in the hand to disrupt one of the fusions.
And now we're chaining.
That's a quick effect. So and now we are adding onto the triggers to spin 3 cards from either player's graveyard back into the deck. He's going to stop his further fusioning.
Which one right now?
Damn, Hani got lucky, and then now it's not really going to be ending on much. He's spinning 3 cards back in the deck right now.
Terrifying.
If you're confused at all,
Okay.
you should be. It's turn 1. Still turn 1. This is turn 1.
Yep. And then resolving screen.
I can't believe this is turn 1.
Now the chains are finally resolving. Cards get shuffled back thanks to Keldo. Screen is going to add Crime. Now I think Rhino Heart is the next one
There's
to resolve.
too many cards lying all over the place.
Summon
Rhino Heart summoning, discarding a Sulliek that's going to search for a tier limit monster.
Itself to go for Mud Dragon.
He's going for his Fusion Shokan. Using maybe into his own kit, or no, he's going into Moo Dragon. Moo Dragon will make your monsters untargetable.
Now Murley's going back.
These 3 go back, and that makes
Murley is resolving.
Oh, then someone first, yeah.
This is we're gonna be Kitten. Kit. No, that's Rhino Heart. Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart on summon. Spin a card on the field back in the deck. That requires 3 to fuse with.
it's not.
And the Kaleido Heart does not activate to spin a card yet.
Over to Dark.
So technically he doesn't know what he's gonna spin, if he's gonna choose to spin the Diviner or the
But yeah, I do like shifting into Dark.
Kid Kalos back in the deck. Probably gonna be Kid Kalos though.
Come into play a lot. It protects you from stuff like Kaleido Heart.
Deck out turn 1. Well, both players could shuffle up to 6 cards of their own cards back in the deck if they want to. When you're playing against a non-Ishizu deck, deck out is a real win condition. Because they're not going to have the ability to return their own cards back in the deck. You have that ability. You choose for both players to mill, and you choose between both players to return cards in the graveyard back in the deck. He's sending Rhino. Rhino's going to activate to summon and discard a tier limit from the hand. But first, the Kaleido Heart needs to be activated to target a card in the field.
You can do Chain Link 1 Rhino, and now Jesse will be chaining 2 Sulliek.
1,
Oh, Kaleido Heart also will trigger.
2, Kaleido, turn 3.
All right, he's spinning the kit back into the deck.
Kaleido Heart.
Back in the deck you go.
2 is Kaleido.
Jesse,
Now, this card's also nuts. If sent to the graveyard by card effect, it's going to resummon.
Is it resolved? Resolve fully.
So we are searching a tier limit, spinning the fusion back in the extra, and we're summoning Rhino from the graveyard, which is going to send another tier limit from the deck to the graveyard
Sulliek.
to trigger possibly another fusion. And it is still turn 1. Turn 1.
Kaleido Heart spins
The first turn of the duel.
5.
And you added Crime and Sheeran. So Crime, Sheeran, and
Turn 1, main phase 1.
this is getting summoned. This is great.
He's summoning, discarding. That's going to trigger a search and a send.
Not use Merrily, correct?
He's searching a tier limit and he's sending a tier limit. He's calling Dark with Moo Dragons so that Dark monsters cannot be targeted by card effects.
Mud Dragon? Yeah.
It's been
So
long.
now his Kaleido Heart cannot be targeted. Completely untargetable.
Rhino Heart was going to be a thing here. All right, so Rhino Heart was sent.
Now, a lot of people forget that the Moo Dragon counts your opponent also. Your opponent can't target their own Dark monsters with card effects.
Now, Hani is trying to decide what he wants to add from his deck to his hand with the Sulliek.
That means if your opponent has a Kick Kalos, they can't target their own monster. So if he tries to kick Kalos, it's illegal. I don't think he'll try to do that, though. He's not doing it, is he?
Make Mud Dragon.
He's making his own Moo Dragon.
Of his own.
Now he's going for Abyss Dweller, I'd imagine.
Okay, he's going for Dweller, I'm thinking.
This is still Hani's first turn. So this is the
First turn, by the way. So he passed up on making Baron to floor.
It looked like Hani's trying to break the
He had
board.
the option to Baron to floor, but Baron to floor wouldn't be able to pop any card in the field because you can't target.
Effect right now. Trip.
Yoink! And he's still making the Baron to floor.
Synchro with Diviner the Herald.
If your opponent activated a monster effect within the main phase, you could steal a monster and he could pop now. And he can't activate in the graveyard because Dweller has stopped him. Moo Dragon's no longer protecting him from being targeted. He would resummon and then send a tier limit from the deck to the graveyard. So he got completely countered. He got blown out.
Sheeran.
He lost his targeting protection. Just got a Dweller made on him. Also has a Baron to floor. Now Dweller could draw, phase, activate, turn off his graveyard, and negate anything that would stop it. Dweller, activate.
ICS Pasadena Championship.
Does he want to play? He's thinking, do I play around Cyframe Gear Gamma? Do I wait? He's activating. I think he's too nervous to think about it. He's activating. That's it. Does he have Cyframe Gear Gamma?
Right now.
Gamma to stop this? Or is he turning off the graveyard?
He did use Herald of Orange. Was this where he Herald of Orange Light and then got Herald?
Herald Orange Light could stop this, but then Baron DeFleur could stop the Herald Orange Light.
Herald of Orange Light.
But if he has Gamma and Herald Orange Light, I don't know if Jesse's playing Gamma.
The graveyard. I think it just got sent there, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It milled,
He
but,
possibly wins right now.
And now Jesse's going
Wait, did we resolve it? He resolved it. That's it. The graveyard is turned off.
I love that.
He's activating Keldo. Keldo's going to be searching for an Earth Fairy.
Discarding Medora. Those are all my favorite bread and butter combos, and these players doing that excellently here. In
Get
the
searching.
You just get so much value out of
He's
it.
negating.
Jesse has 2 shuffle back effects online.
Hard once while face up. That's it. Negate. And if sent to the graveyard, that wouldn't activate anyway. This is not a trigger effect. It will be able to spin cards during the opponent's turn, though.
And I guess the play is just, if you're thinking about it, like what is...
His graveyard's turned off right now. Jesse's not out of this. I can't believe this. I could not believe. Dweller, Baron DeFleur, and Jesse still has a chance. He still has his normal summon.
I will normal summon Sharon.
So he uses...
Is that special?
summons the Sharon.
Or normal?
Battle phase to attack over
Battle
Biscuit,
phase.
1800 over 1700.
Sharon is thick. She's 1,800 thick. He didn't activate the effect to special summon her, then mill 3, because his graveyard's turned off anyway. Now that back row could be negate a monster or negate anything.
Time is available. Let's see if the standby phase, Hani decides to put this Baron.
He could standby phase Baron DeFleur, summon a monster from the graveyard.
Nope, stays on the field. Gonna want
But then he could target the monster he wants to summon with the Keldo and Mudora and spin it back on the deck. So Baron DeFleur would be completely stopped.
Just attack.
He's not activating Baron DeFleur. He's playing around Crime.
But now,
68 to 79.
but now it is Hani's
Ooh, that turns off the Crime. That turns off Spell Trap, Monster Negate.
shuffle back card.
He played around it.
Hani does have a Sharon.
That was smart. Okay.
Discarding.
He's activating Sharon. He's going to mill 3, and he has the Effective Fusion summon, but he could stop the Effective Fusion summon. Field Spell is not a good mill. What do you mill? Do you mill Mudora? I can't see. You're covering it. Move your freaking hand, mate.
Mudora.
He's got Mudora, okay.
Let me see your graveyard.
Now, what he could do with his own Mudora is he could target his opponent's Keldo and Mudora, force them to activate, and then make further plays this turn. So him milling Mudora is pretty damn good. Now, Jesse's going to use one of his own Keldo in Mudora's to stop his fusion summon if he activates. He might not even activate. He's triggering. He's triggering. Okay. He's activating the fuse. And now Jesse's Keldo or Mudora could shuffle it back in the deck to stop the fusion. That's exactly what he's doing.
Keldo here from Jesse or Mudora.
Mudora is going to stop the fusion. Does anyone know how many cards are in Hani's hand?
Targets 1, 2.
He's targeting 3 cards to return back into the deck. He's not targeting the opponent's Mudora.
Summon it again.
He's not forcing him to Mudora because he expects him to Mudora anyway. He has no hand? Well, shite. Then he doesn't win this. he doesn't win this turn.
Keldo.
He's targeting 3 cards to spin back into the deck. I think he targeted the Jesse's Keldo, which would be the correct thing to do. He's recycling his Dweller. You play 1 Dweller, then just return it back.
Blood Dragon. Yes.
Recycle Dweller, recycle the Mood Dragon, and spin back the opponent's Keldo. Now, before being spun back, he wants to maybe activate his Keldo to spin an additional 3 cards back. So in total, 9 cards are being targeted to be spun back from either player's graveyard back into the deck or extra.
Targeting Kelbeck. Nagito.
Instead of spinning his own cards, he spins 3 cards of his opponent's back into the deck.
These 2 go back. One of your guys gets banished. These go.
And there you go. That's 9 targeted cards to be spun back in the deck. Fusion Summon has been
That means a half.
nullified. No effect.
That was definitely like the first card that Jesse.
Just look at his whole. He's making sure none of his cards are upside down.
Shearing.
Yep.
Effective Baron to destroy his own Sharon. Sharon effect's going to trigger.
Here we go.
Baron to floor destroyed his own Sharon.
Graveyard now.
Sharon's gonna activate Fusion Summon.
More shuffle backs left. Jesse's used them both.
Can he deal 8,000?
That's going to be kicked hollows.
And I haven't used Merle yet.
Kid, activate. This actually is lethal. This is actually lethal.
You can see
Right?
Honey's
23?
picking up here. He's
53?
gonna have Celiac.
He could send himself to mill 5.
Effect here.
He's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing it.
Back.
He's going for the big mill.
Rhino
The big mill.
Chainlink 1, Rhino Heart, Chainlink 2.
Mill 5 and send any tier element from the deck to the graveyard. He's got 4,800 damage.
The battle phase has already been done, but
He can still get
Okay,
back.
battle phase already. Yeah. All right, he already battled. Okay, this is not lethal damage. Correction. Correction.
deals a scream and
Go
another
to BP2.
so it's gonna be more
BP2.
and the Rhino.
I think he searched as Sulik, right? So he has a negate. That's Dweller again. He returned Dweller back in the extra to resummon.
Again,
He
set the Celiac.
Sharon attacked over Dweller. Was that a mistake? What do you think? Because he was able to recycle Dweller. Was he going to be able to recycle Dweller
Neuron.
without him attacking over the Dweller? Was that a mistake?
Oh, it's in the standby phase.
He gave him the ability to recycle the Dweller. Target a level 9 or lower, return this card, and if you do, special summon that monster.
Where he can fusion summon again to go for a
He's
kick.
Baron to floor,
Let him add a Hobby.
summoning Rhino from the graveyard.
Kicked hollows with a Celiac. That's
Rhino sending a Sharon. He's going to fusion summon right now.
But Jesse has a
Ooh, he's got the Bestial to stop the fusion. The fusion stopped. No fusion summon. That was his play. The big play.
the bestials are the way Jesse can climb out of this.
Now, if he chains Mudora to spin his own monster back into the deck, then the Bestial does not summon.
He won't get to fusion summon, but that
But
means
if he uses, I guess only because he's under the effective Dweller, this is an okay play to stop the Bestial from being summoned. Otherwise, the Mudora, you really want to save it. Is that his third Mudora? I think 3 Mudoras are now gone.
particular.
So Baron to floor, summoned Rhino. Rhino sent Sharon. Sharon activated Diffuse. He chained a Bestial to banish it, and now he's chaining to return the card that he wants to banish back on the deck instead, so that the Bestial does not get summoned. The fusion has been stopped.
And Jesse's still got what? 2 cards in hand?
I think so.
3. Well, 2 plus the Serenade.
Yeah, which isn't going to do
All
much
right.
for him this turn.
All 3 Mudoras gone. And as far as I know, no one's playing any way to recycle your banished Ishizu cards.
Well, we're going to see the return of
The
normal.
Crime when sent to the graveyard could add a banished tier element, but not the Ishizu cards. So that's it. No more Mudora for the rest of the duel.
But he does have Mudora, which he's going to normal summon.
No on Mudora, 1,500 attack. Rhino Heart, 2,100 defense.
Pass on Mudora.
The Dweller's also boosting up the field by 500 by having a water.
A Murley, a monster of any kind. Looks like he didn't.
Switches to attack position.
We are in a simplified game state. They're not even popping off.
And we still got that Bestial to contend
He
with.
does have the Bestial in the hand still, as the caster's saying. The Bestial could still come out. This is the Bestial he has in the hand. 22 and 2K.
22 over 15.
You got to hold on to Dweller. Was not forced to use it. And Jesse might have a Crime in the back row. The Baron to floor played around it.
Maybe he drew a beast. No, if he drew a beast.
Is he going to shotgun the Dweller? Yes, he is.
Honey's going to activate a Beast Dweller.
Dweller right away. If he did not wait, then he could summon a tier limit on the field and negate it with the Crime. The back row he has right now is dead unless he gets a tier limit on the field. Okay, Dweller's resolved.
Normal summon Merrily.
Merrily could mill 3, but your graveyard is turned off right now.
1, 2, and 3, and hits a bunch of names.
Mills 3, but can't activate.
Under Dweller.
Merrily is 800 attack.
Will be nice to use him
And
for
that
future
is your normal
if
summon.
He does make it past this turn.
He's now looking for a card to banish to summon his Bestial. What he could potentially do with the Merrily is Merrily could help make a Sprite Elf.
It looks like you have
Sprite Elf could then be able to summon Merrily during the opponent's turn to trigger a fusion. The Sprite Elf could also summon Diviner from the graveyard to trigger Mill 5 for both players,
So is it the Rhinoheart? I don't know. That's
banishing them early to summon.
But now the Saurnier's coming down.
Do you make Sprite Elf here or Dark?
He's gonna activate
That
Silly.
is send your Rhinoheart to negate a monster on the fields. He's going to negate the negate, shuffling it back in the deck, mate. Continuous trap, negate a monster effect is back in the deck.
Well, I'm assuming he thought that through. because
2,500 attack.
he's been there the whole time.
Yeah, he definitely is. But
Over 15, no longer boosted by the Dweller effect.
just
I think Jesse's gonna win this.
There, he did in fact send the monster. Just a little out of order.
Is he making Sprite Elf
Divine Wrath is cost.
or Dark?
So
He's
these
making
two
Dark.
coming dark.
Dark, yoink a monster.
Oh, but his last card is Magnamut.
Whoa!
it's a monster on the board. It's going to give him another.
He got outplayed. What the? He
What a top deck.
Man.
What a top deck.
he banished the card he was targeting,
When he was holding the card, is it a beast?
so he didn't get to steal it.
And in fact, was that Magnamut? He gonna be like,
Oh my God! I'm putting my money back on Hani. Hani's gonna win. Hani's gonna win. Hani was gonna win, then Jesse was definitely gonna win. Now Hani's gonna win.
Right here, so that your opponent has to use the Keldo, right?
Right.
You got to draw it out now.
Should he have just made the elf?
If he has game on board, if he attacks with a dark, I believe he has 5,000, 67 minus 8.
He's tracking the life points that he's got game. The Bestial he summoned is gonna search for another Bestial in the end phase.
He definitely has enough.
That's 5K plus Dweller. He's seeing if he has game next turn.
Is that dark when destroyed doesn't
But
search something that Jesse can
Doesn't Jesse have a Keldo? Keldo could stop the new Bestial being summoned. I think he might be getting too excited thinking he has game, but he doesn't.
So he's going for the Juice Worm.
So during the end phase.
Oh, during the end phase. Uh-oh. He can't Keldo during the end phase under the Dweller, so he probably does have game.
Shuffled it back with his own. Okay, yeah, I don't think he had one.
He pitched it with the crime, right?
Oh yeah, he did have it.
Tribute summon, send it, talk to me.
That's it.
Whoa!
Juice Worm, Effectsin, and Monty defeats gets the top.
Damn. He tributed over Druid Swarm, which sends the special summon monster to the graveyard, then open field attack for game.
Going into the crowd. Everyone's so excited.
Wow.
for their friend Honey. See Chris was locked down there getting excited. He wasn't able to get his
All right.
here, but Honey was
Damn.
individual
Damn.
wise. The
Hani got second place in the 3K, then won the YCS.
It's such a
Damn.
right? Like he's
Damn.